This is Sway.
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 In the morning.
In the morning.
In the morning.
Don't shake it, body.
Wake your fuck ass up. That crust out y'all.
He was the first to defeat Anderson Silva in a sanctioned UFC match. The one and only Chris Weidman is here, ladies and gentlemen.
Woo! Welcome.
Took down the legend.
Thank you very much.
Took down the legend, man. Chris, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. I have to say, you know, as most kids or most people who watch UFC are or were at that time, man, I was a gigantic Anderson Silva fan, man.
Wow. And he's looking at me in the eye the whole time.
Yeah.
I love it.
You like that, right?
That's a true man right there. I like that.
Yeah,
He's not afraid. That's a true fan.
That's a true fan,
yes,
man.
I like it. I respect that.
Absolutely. And I was thoroughly impressed because I'll be honest with you, up until that fight, I hadn't really followed your career. And the way you dominated him let me know that there's a whole new wave of fighters that are coming into the UFC that made me start digging deeper and stop looking at just the franchise or the headline fighters, man. I know this is old, but, you know, this is your first time here. That moment, was it any different from winning any other fight for you, or did you understand the magnitude of what had just happened?
Oh, yeah. I mean, so Anderson Silva, just to give everybody a backdrop, that guy, he was undefeated in the UFC for, I think, 8 years. He never lost. He was known as the greatest of all time. He completely dominated everybody he's ever fought. When I got into the sport, he was the champion in the UFC already in my weight class. So if I wanted to be the best in the world, that was the guy I was eventually going to have to beat. But it was obviously going to take a long road to eventually get to the top. And before you know it, all the hard work paid off. I was stepping in the ring with Anderson Silva, and the whole time I believed in myself. I knew I was going to beat him. It was just a dream come true, and I went out there and knocked him out. It was unbelievable. There's nothing that could beat. Obviously, I'm accomplishing my goal of becoming a UFC champion. At the same time, I'm knocking out the legend, the guy that I was really preparing for and training for literally my whole fighting career.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
It actually didn't look hard for you to do. Am I mistaken? Like
No, it was hard, you know, and you know, some fights you watch a fight line, oh, that looked easy, but the training that goes into it and all the mental preparation, physical preparation, there's just so much that goes on. So that path to that fight was crazy, and even in there, because Anderson Silva was the type of guy who would beat people before you even walk into the octagon. He had such a mystique about him. And I could not let that happen to me. So there was a lot of mental toughness before I even got in there. And then in there, he was known to put his hands down and almost make you feel like you didn't belong in there with him. He would literally, against some of the other best fighters in the world, put his hands down and just let them swing at his head. He'd either let them hit him and just eat the punches, and you would think, all right, this guy has a grinded chin, can't get knocked out, or he would just start hitting the Ali, the little rope-a-dope. He was unbelievable. Then he would just knock you out.
Yeah.
So that's what people had in their mind when I was stepping in the cage with him.
Wow.
Yeah, he was an unbelievable fighter. He still is.
Yeah, but you represented America really well. I like that about
this
guy's from Long Island, Heather B.
Strong Island.
Strong Island. That's right.
New Yorker.
That's right.
Public Enemy.
EPMD.
Rakim. You know. De La Soul. you know any of these hip hop acts we're naming here, Chris?
What's that?
Public Enemy, De La Soul. You familiar
Yeah, of
with
course.
that? Yeah, Long Island boy. Go ahead, Tracy.
That's right.
I'm hella intrigued by everything you're saying, and I'm wondering, you know, a lot of times when people want to get physically strong, they know what to do. They can go to the gym. You can YouTube all these different exercises, but what are the methods for mental strength?
That's a good question, and I think the way to get mental strength, you can't trick yourself. Everyone knows the key to be successful in anything, from sports to business, is to be confident in yourself and have that edge. And you can't trick yourself to have confidence. You gotta work so hard to where you feel like no one deserves to be in there with you, at least with fighting, and same thing with whatever else. And obviously the physicalness comes with that hard work. And once you put that hard work in, and then you believe in yourself and you have that confidence, then you have the mental toughness to go in there and believe that no one deserves to be in there with you.
Got it.
You had after that, how many? 3 successful title defenses?
So I beat 4
4-4.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
and then your last 2 fights.
Yes.
You lost, right?
Yep,
Okay.
I'm on a little drought.
What's going on, Chris?
I lost my last 2 games. I'm coming. Don't judge me on these isolated events. I'm coming back. It's just the problem with fighting is it's like if you compare it to basketball. LeBron James has 2 bad games. People start, oh man, he's losing it, but then the third game comes quick.
Yeah.
With fighting, it could be 2 years before you have that third fight. So there's a lot of time that goes by. But no, I'm on my road for comeback. I'm where I need to be. I'm mentally, physically, spiritually. I've never been in such a great spot. I'm just ready to go out there and do my thing. I feel after a setback, that's your platform for a comeback, and that's where I'm at right now. I'm just after the more adversity you hit in life, it gives you more of opportunity to really achieve more glory. So this is as an athlete, there's no better feeling than a true comeback.
When comeback.
Everyone's looking at you like he's done, or he had his ride, and then you prove them all wrong.
That's happened to me in this business, man. Plenty of times, man. Since the 90s, they never thought I'll sustain it, man.
Yep.
And I just keep like you. I'm like Chris Weidman right now. I'm coming back.
Yep. Besides, you're already back.
I'm already back.
That's what I'm saying. When did you ever fall off?
No, but I'm sure there is. I'm sure that I'm definitely. And I've had lots of setbacks that people were looking at me in the same way, and now I'm on a bigger. There's more people watching right now. I was a wrestler before, and I've had losses, and people wrote me off, and I proved them wrong, and I've had those comebacks that felt amazing. And right now, I'm on that same path.
He's on that same path. Yeah.
Chris, I got to take you back a little bit because I'm just curious as to how do you wake up and say I want to be a wrestler and then like a UFC fighter? What is? How come?
I don't know. I don't know how it happened. I grew up. I was definitely fighting a lot when I was growing up.
Oh, okay.
But then I got into sports and I started being a good boy, and kept me in school and doing the right thing. And then I wrestled. I tried out for the Olympics in 2008. I got injured before the Olympic trials, and then in the Olympics, you got to wait every 4 years. And I was living in my parents' basement. I had a wife at that time. I was going to have a baby. I'm like, man, I got to start making some money. And I saw these other wrestlers getting into MMA, into the UFC, and making money. And I'm like, and I always did. If I thought I could maybe not beat someone in wrestling, I'm like, I know I could beat them up in a fight. And so I'm like, this might be meant for me. And then I started training. And then next thing I know, it was not. It's been
So is it
good.
the same like other stuff? Like you have to get an agent or a manager? Like how does that part work? Like once you decide you want to do this, then you have to get representation?
Not really. I mean, you always want that. When you come from nothing, the first thing you want is that manager, and you want feel someone representing you. But in reality, at the end of the day, you gotta just put that hard work in, and you gotta learn, and those things will come. But I definitely was at the point in the beginning, I wanted, how do I get a sponsorship? How do I get management? But what ended up really happening is I just started training. I started learning. I started, with the stand-up boxing, the kickboxing, and different martial arts on the feet. Then I learned the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and within a couple of months, I'm like, let me just get right in there. I already had the mental fortitude from the wrestling and the base of wrestling to understand how to win. And then if I add those other elements, I felt like I could beat these guys. So I just kind of jumped right in there. And then the managers and all that other stuff, that came.
Okay. They always come. Chris Weidman is here. Okay, next Saturday at the KeyBank Center in Buffalo, New York. April 8th, he's fighting Gegard Mousasi. And this guy is 41-6. And just like Chris, he got something to show you guys. He got something to prove. And MMA, man, you never know. You only one punch, one kick, one elbow, one submission away from losing it all. We're going to talk about this fight coming up and then also open up the phone lines. 888-742-3345. Chris Weidman is here, ladies and gentlemen. He's fighting April 8th. This is UFC 210, KeyBank Center in Buffalo, New York. This is a good bill, though. Who else is on the bill?
Oh, we got Cormier, Anthony Johnson as the main event. And
Anthony Johnson.
I think UFC.com will have all the other answers for you.
Yeah.
I like Chris Stiles.
Johnson is a feared fighter, right?
Oh, man, that dude hits hard.
Yeah.
So Cormier and Anthony Johnson fought, I don't know, maybe a year ago. And they fought on a card I fought on. I forgot who I fought, but Vito Belfort.
Yeah.
It was a good night for me. And then
Vito Belfort. You forgot that name, bro?
Yeah. No, I'm just I don't forget the name. I just remember which card was that. Who did I fight that night?
Okay.
But Anthony Johnson sent Cormier across the octagon with the right hand. Like, literally, I mean, these are two big dudes. I mean, both are going to be weighing around like 225, 230 pounds. Shit. This dude, Anthony Johnson, sent Cormier across the octagon with the right hand. Somehow this dude came back to wits and started wrestling Anthony Johnson. Anthony Johnson kind of got gassed out, and he ended up, I think he submitted him or TKO'd him in the second round. Cormier beat Anthony Johnson. So Anthony Johnson now is coming back and still has obviously that knockout power, and now knows, all right, I can't be getting wrestled by this dude because last time it didn't work out for me. So it's going to be interesting. I see either Anthony Johnson's either going to knock him out with one of those punches because the dude is a scary dude, or Cormier is going to wear him down with the wrestling. It should be good.
Gegard Mousasi.
Yes.
You know nothing about him. I can tell.
Who's that? No. The guy's go ahead.
Well, this is an important fight for you, I would imagine. Though you can't win, you can't lose 3 in a row.
No, definitely not.
Then your billing goes down.
Yes.
I mean, you have iconic status because of who you've defeated. Mm-hmm. But how important is this fight for you?
Man, this is everything. Like I was saying before, this is my comeback story, man. This is it, man. I learned my lessons. I've had my setbacks, and now it's time to get on that stage and get back to my winning ways. And show people what's up and all those datas out there. Prove them wrong. There's nothing more motivating than that. I have so much motivation. Right now. So this is good. But Gegard Mousasi, just to get into him, he's an experienced dude. He's very calm. I think that is he's well-rounded, very good stand-up, wrestling, jiu-jitsu. He's got it all. He's very laid back. He's very calm. Nothing really bothers him. He'll get taken down. He'll get punched. His dude's face looks like it never changes. He looks like he's sleeping out there the whole time.
That's deceiving.
And I think that's probably his best attribute. But I also think it's the reason why he struggles sometimes, because sometimes you're so calm and so relaxed that all of a sudden time runs out. And you didn't do it. You didn't get the job done. Yeah. And I'm gonna make sure the pace will be going, and before you know it, either he's gonna be finished or he's gonna be or the time ran out. It's over.
Chris Weidman, man.
Chris, you kind of like peeling back the curtain a little bit and showing us the inside part of it. But you had mentioned earlier that you were married before. Did this whole game mess up your first marriage, or you remarried, or what?
No. Somehow I still have the same wife. I don't know how she stayed with me.
Okay.
Even after losses?
High school sweetheart. Yeah. Recently, for some reason, she's been talking about some weird things since I have had 2 losses in a row. But she's giving me attitude now. But when I was champion, it was perfect.
Yeah.
No, she's great. Now, I've been with her since the beginning. She's been with me since high school, really. Yeah. So she's
nice.
College, all that, everything. So she's been good. She's my rock.
That's dope.
What's up, man? That's what's up.
Chris, I'm just curious because I'm a very sore loser. Like, if you beat me in tic-tac-toe, I'm going to go punch a wall somewhere or some shit. So what did you do? Did you go into isolation? Did you call up, like, your closest friends? Or how did you handle it?
Listen, if you think you're a sore loser, I'm way worse. You don't want to be around me. But when I guess as you realize as I get older and you just gather knowledge, I mean, you can't get emotional about things because it never will work out. You have to get right back to the positives and get back to the process. And so that's what I did. I didn't let it bother me as much as it did. As much as I want to, kill that dude and talk about how what I should have done. And right away, it's what I lost. There's a reason why, and I'm going to learn from it, and I'm going to come back and do things different.
He's a stand-up comedian too, so he gets losses. You know what I mean? So maybe.
Oh man, talk about you stand-up comedian. You got balls.
Yeah,
that's the one thing I think might be tougher than stepping in the UFC octagon is stepping on that stage in front of people and telling jokes and hoping they laugh. That's no joke. I give you credit for that.
Thank you, man. I'll take a tomato over a punch any day, man.
All right, we got Manuel from Texas on the line. What up, Manuel? Say hello to Chris.
Emmanuel.
What up, Sway? What up, Chris?
Hey, what's up, buddy?
What's up, man? Hey, I had a question for you. I was actually having my first MMA fight coming up. I had it coming up February 25th, and I actually tore my MCL right before. And the question I had for you was, I think you had an injury before with your neck or something.
I've had every single injury you could think of, including MCLs. So wait, you said you have a fight coming up and you tore your MCL, or you did have a fight?
I had one in February, and I had to pull out of it for it.
Yes.
And it was my first MMA fight.
Yep.
The question I have for you is how do you come back from that? That mental fortitude? Because I feel like it's more in my head than it is in my body, and I'm kind of concerned about trying to come back and train. It's just kind of getting in the way of everything,
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. First of all, for the MCL, you got to have a brace. Brace is huge. I know it hurts like when you're sliding and shuffling. I've had that, but as far as dealing with it mentally, it's like anything else, man. You just gotta be persistent. You gotta focus on the process and just physical therapy. Don't think about the future and your goals. Focus on the process, and all that other stuff will take care of itself.
All right, man. You're a citizen, bro. Hey, good luck to you, man.
Yeah, good luck.
When you have fights, let me know. Tag me on the Twitter or something like that.
Good luck, buddy.
All right.
Appreciate it, y'all.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. We got Donnie from Illinois on the line. Donnie, what up? Say hello to Chris Weidman.
Hey, what up, everybody? Good morning.
What's
Good morning.
up?
Chris, how you doing? I can't believe I'm talking to Chris Weidman right now.
Hey.
Chris, I must be honest. I used to hate your guts because you beat my favorite fighter, Anderson Silva.
You're the first person who ever said that to me. You're not even the first person today. That's crazy.
I didn't even sleep the night he broke his leg. I went to bed. I had nightmares, barely even slept all night, and I'm like, I hate this guy, Chris Weidman.
Yo, wait, hold up. Let me have the.
You blame me for that?
Yo, Anderson kicked him in the thigh, I think it was.
No. My strong ass knee.
In his knee, and his whole shin, his ankle broke in half.
His whole leg broke.
Yo, how did you not vomit in the ring? Like,
bro, honestly, that was a very. So you guys have the way that whole went down. You have to realize I knocked him out the fight before that, and then all build up. I got lucky. I go in there, and now I'm fighting him again. And the first fight, the only thing this dude hit me with was leg kicks. Like, I literally couldn't walk for 2 weeks because the leg kicks he was hitting me with. So I practiced. Yeah. Oh man, they were hard. They didn't even look that hard, but believe me, I had the poker face on, but I was like, holy smokes, this guy kicks hard. And so I practiced checking leg kicks, and not to be that guy, but that's literally the most important thing. And we can't let him. He's obviously going to come back with those leg kicks. We can't get kicked in the leg because that's a fight ender. And so I'm checking the leg. I checked the leg kick for the first time in that second round, and all of a sudden you see him get mad. I was obviously happy. I checked the leg kick fine. The way you check a leg kick is you bring your foot off the mat, and when he's trying to kick your thigh, you put your knee or right below your knee on his shin, and that's one of the hardest bones on your body. So you put that on there, and it'll actually hurt him more than it hurts you, and you're not kicking the muscle, so it stops him from kicking you. It's usually pretty damn painful. So he did. So then his pride, I think, got in the way. As soon as he felt me check his leg kick, he was like, "Oh, now I'm going to kick this dude as hard as I possibly can." Now for the first time, he didn't set up the leg kick the right way. Because every other time he was so good at setting up with his hands. He got his hands moving, got me thinking he was going to punch, and he hit me with a leg kick. This time, he got emotional. He was like, man, and now he was frustrated. I already dropped in the round before to give you a little bit of what happened there. But so now he got emotional. He went to kick me as hard as he can with no setup. And I'm like, oh, here comes a leg kick. Boom, I bring my knee up. Boom. His leg wraps around. He breaks his leg. But at the time, I'm thinking, I didn't realize his leg broke.
That's ugly.
He stepped back and fell. And I just thought he was in extreme pain because this happens even in sparring. Guys will go down and sparring from check. You're not breaking their leg, but it's so painful on their shin that they'll take a seat and they need a couple of minutes. So that's what I thought he was done. The referee stopped. I'm like, oh, man, I'm happy. I'm running around the octagon. I got my hands up. And as I come back around, it sounded like literally there was someone getting murdered. He is screaming like I've never heard before. I'm not going to go into it, but it was just crazy scream, crazy pain scream. And I'm like, what the hell? This is on a whole nother level. And I go look, and I see him holding his leg together. And I go over, I'm like, what? So and then right away, it goes from a smile, I'm happy I won, to this guy his leg broke. Yeah. So I'm like trying to talk to him, and we got made. It was a terrible situation. It was terrible. I wouldn't wish that on anybody.
Are y'all cool now though?
Right.
Yeah, we're cool. We're cool. When we see each other, we get along. There's no bad blood on my end. Okay. He on the other hand, I don't know if he's
I ain't mad at him.
Yeah, depends how you deal with that. I don't know.
He's been on the show. He's been a guest.
His whole family has darts thrown at my head every day. Probably.
I'm sure, man. Ryan's from Canada. He has a question for you, Chris. Go ahead, Ryan.
Hey, Chris, how's it going?
Hey, going good. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm just to let you know, I used to train MMA here in Canada. I did a little bit of Taekwondo, Jiu-Jitsu, and same thing. I ended up tearing both my knees, and I had to quit. So now I'm working into nutrition and on the culinary aspect.
Nice.
I've been watching you since you came in. Actually, I've been watching UFC and MMA since about 1999.
Wow, I appreciate that.
I seen you at
Hey, Ryan, get to the question, Ryan.
Okay.
Hey, this is a big time radio show, man. They can't listen to you the whole time. They're gonna lose ratings.
The whole thing that bugs me about MMA is how Hollywood basically owns it, and they're changing up the matching. It used to be they put a jiu-jitsu guy against the wrestler. Now they're changing it towards.
Okay. So let me ask you a question, Chris.
I love it.
There's a lot of guys.
Was that the hang-up button?
That's this. It's a wrap.
That was the hang-up button.
Thank you, Ryan. You're a citizen.
I've never seen that done before in person. I like it.
A lot of guys are getting tagged for substance abuse in the UFC, as well as the use of illegal substances like steroids and that sort of thing. And we see that in baseball, and we see that in track and field, and we're seeing it in football.
But it's way different in a fight. But anyway,
explain.
Is that where you're going with?
Yeah, well, yeah. How is it different?
Because these dudes, I mean, you're taking people's heads off. Really, your goal is to hurt that other person. So now you're trying to go in there. You'd hope someone's trying. I'm trying to go in there clean, and then you got to worry about the other guy coming in all dirty and cheating, which I've gone actually. 5 of my last 6 opponents have failed for drug tests at this point. So I was fighting old dirty fighters, and half of them I didn't know at the time they were. And it's not a game. You're hurting people. Yeah. I mean, so it's a whole nother level. Now UFC has stepped up. Now they have, obviously this is why people are failing now. They have random drug tests. So you get randomly drug tests. USADA, they use USADA to do that, and it's stopping a lot of people, but. The guys who were on steroids before, mentally, I don't think they could get over it, and they're still finding ways of cheating. You know, I think they get their doctors. You know, they spend a little money, they get doctors. They probably keep their levels like right below where they know they're gonna fail. They have this. The guys who were on steroids for their whole career, they're not just getting off. They're figuring out ways to still beat the system, which sucks. And it happens in all sports. But with real fighting, it really. That you should go to jail for that. It's literally
because you could kill somebody.
You could kill somebody.
Yeah, man.
This guy's testosterone is like King Kong.
Yeah,
it's a problem. And you got like a normal man's testosterone. You're fighting a gorilla.
You're fighting a gorilla.
This dude's jumping on your back. You're like, whoa.
Chris got submitted by a gorilla.
Well, it's not the same sort of like with football then, Chris, because they trying to kill each other too. And then the after effects of football getting hit in the head, you see all these different stories, the dementia, all the things that they suffer. You know, so I think it should be the same sort of in football as well.
Don't watch that Will Smith movie if you're a football player. Don't do it.
Tell the truth.
Yeah.
All right, man. Chris Weidman, man.
Same thing. No, I'm with you 100%.
Chris, thank you for coming by this morning, man. It's really interesting conversation, man.
Thank you.
Yo, honestly, I've been watching you, man. I'm a big fan of yours, bro. And I like how you represent yourself, man. And continued success.
Yeah, you too, man.
Oh, hold up. I just had a premonition. Ooh. You're going to beat gay guard Mousasi April 8th. Coming up on UFC 210 at the KeyBank Center in Buffalo, New York. He's going to be the winner!
Get him, Chris. Shout out to you and your wife and your family, too.
Yeah,
right.
The rider.
Okay.
It's Sway in the morning, only on Shea 45.